Hello everyone, this is Latasha Blanton from the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism. And you're going to have the opportunity to travel with Phil Scott to
sunny South Africa. You guys are going to have the opportunity to come to Johannesburg, and you guys are going to be coming to Durban. And we're going to set it up perfectly. It's going to be like a luxury experience for you guys. At the same time, you're going to be getting some culture. And of course, you're going to get an opportunity to talk to Phil, hang out with Phil, and get his views on Africa and South Africa.
You're also going to get an opportunity to explore the lifestyles here that are available in South Africa. And we're going to do all that for you in an amazing 10 days. We do hope that you go to the website and book, because we do look forward to seeing you here.
Absolutely. Our website is therealsouthafrica.com. Go there, scroll down. You'll see a picture of Phil, and just go ahead and book there. So we'll see you here in what we like to call sunny South Africa.
There is a new Scramble for Africa. You know, if you're not pumping money into the African continent, if you're not aligning with Africa and its leaders, then you know that you're being left behind. They used to say Africa is the future. Well, guess what? The future is here now. From China, Russia, America, UK, and now the latest entrant is Saudi Arabia. And you know, Saudi Arabia was almost like, you know, they were very hesitant to come into the African continent, and they were trying to be very strategic and very modest. But now they're going all in. They're going all in and saying, we are interested in partnering with Africa, putting money in Africa. And this is going to be very interesting, because we're going to see how it plays to counter the influence of the West on the African continent.
We also look forward to injecting new Saudi investments in different sectors with an amount that exceeds $25 billion of financing, and securing $10 billion of exports, as well as providing $5 billion as additional development funding for Africa till 2030. The kingdom will also increase the number of its embassies to more than 40. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was one of the first countries to provide its support for the African Union to have a permanent membership in the G20 out of its belief in the role of the African countries. The kingdom was keen on supporting innovative solutions to treat the debts of the African countries. Through its G20 presidency in 2020, the kingdom worked on launching the Debt Service Suspension Initiative for the low-income countries during the pandemic, and the Common Framework for the Debt Treatment and its restructuring in a number of African countries. The kingdom supports sustainable development, and it always emphasizes the rights of countries to develop their resources and capabilities. We renew our commitment to the security of energy supplies and sustainability, while benefiting from all energy sources and developing clean fuels, technologies, solutions, and systems, as well as providing food to more than 750 million in Africa.
Hello there, how are you doing? Welcome to another episode of our conversations. My name is Ondiro Oganga. I'm a business journalist by profession and a digital content creator. I love coming on here, talking to you guys about Black people, Africans, our empowerment, and how we can rise up and take a rightful place at the global stage. You can connect with me on social media at Ondiro Oganga on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And let's get right into today's video. Sometimes it warms my heart to see that Africa has more options other than just the West as we knew it when it comes to development partners, because let's get into it just a little bit. The West can be a very problematic partner, because for a long time they had monopolized the market. You had nowhere else to go when you're looking for alliances, when you're looking for business partners, when you're looking for political help. There was no other place to go other than the West, and that's mostly the US, the UK, or sometimes France. And this created a lot of imbalance in the market, because they held all the cards. Then it meant that if you want something, then it comes with conditionalities. And these conditionalities have always been very difficult and unpalatable almost for Africans, because what the West value is very different from what Africans value. The place that the West currently is at is very different development-wise from where Africa is. And so when you want us to play catch-up on very unlevel playing ground, then it makes these relations very difficult to continue forging ahead. And that's why we're seeing Africans looking elsewhere. And the good thing is that while Africans are shopping for new friends are also shopping for other friends in Africa, right? We're seeing China, who have a massive influence on the African continent, almost competing with American influence, if not dominating American influence on the African continent. The Chinese are very problematic people. This is not to excuse how China does business or how just China perceives things, but it's also to say that they've offered an alternative to Western partners, right? They've given so much money to the African continent in terms of infrastructural projects. This is a double-edged sword, because how are you going to pay them back? How are you going to pay them back? But then they just keep giving Africa money. Now we are seeing there's the emergence of Russia-Africa summit, where President Putin pledged that grain and fertilizer will make its way on the African continent following the Russian-Ukraine war that, you know, sort of created what are they called, global supply chain disruptions with grains, which caused like food inflation on the African continent. We're seeing also France trying to create alliances with Africa. Outside of Francophone, they're trying to win the rest of the African continent. And now, most recently, we're seeing Saudi Arab African Summit. And I'll tell you why this is important, because it just diversifies the playing field. Some of the countries that I've lived in before haven't seen heavy Saudi influence, but in Rwanda, it actually exists. President Kagame, in his wisdom, because, you know, he hasn't been in the good books of the West, he can make a case for himself, and the West can also make a case for why he's not in their good books. All factors constant, he's found allies in the Middle East. And, you know, I've seen a lot of projects in this country that have been done by the Middle East, you know, hospitals, roads, and even one of the biggest airports is in partnership with Middle East currently. And so to see that African leaders now in collective are going to find new partners is very interesting. And Middle East committed about $500 million in development for Africa. I just want to briefly take you through what the development looks like. In Niger, they'll get about 105 million Saudi Arabia currency. Burkina Faso will get 63 million. Benin will get 150 million. Republic of Guinea, 281. And you know, these are countries that you rarely see get this amount of money. Actually, the big countries who the West give money got the least allocation. And then countries that rarely get money are the guys that got the most allocation. We look here, Republic of Sierra Leone, 187 million, you know. You look at Republic of Angola, 375 million. And all this is just to go into infrastructural development. This is good for Africa because it just means that there are alternatives. And when there are alternatives, then it reduces market exploitation. It means that there's competition in the market and everybody will try and give you value for your time, your money, and whatever it is that you bring on the table. It's no longer Africa is that dark place and we're doing you a favor by sitting on this table with you. No, if you don't sit on the table with me, somebody else has already set a table for me. So, cha-cha.
In the name of Allah, Excellencies, distinguished audience, peace be unto you. On behalf of the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, I'm delighted to welcome you and convey his wishes for the success of the first Saudi African Summit. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the African countries are keen on strengthening cooperation to entrench security and peace in our region and the entire world. While we condemn the military aggressions and targeting civilians in the Gaza Strip and the Israeli occupation forces' continued violations of international humanitarian law, we stress the necessity to stop this war and this forced displacement and create the conditions to restore stability and achieve peace. The Kingdom and the African countries support all efforts aiming for achieving security and stability. In this context, we welcome the resumption of talks in Jeddah between the representatives of the two sides of the crisis in the Republic of Sudan. We hope that dialogue will be the foundation to preserve the Republic of Sudan's unity and its security and its capabilities. Excellencies, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia provided more than $45 billion to support development and humanitarian projects. And in 54 African countries, also King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center provided more than $450 million in 46 African countries. In the Kingdom, we are determined to develop cooperation and partnership relations with African countries and enhance the fields of trade and integration. With this in mind, we are pleased to announce the launching of the development initiative of the Custodian of the Two Holy Mosques in Africa through the inauguration of development projects and programs with an amount that exceeds $1 billion for 10 years. We also look forward to injecting new Saudi investments in different sectors with an amount that exceeds $25 billion of financing and securing $10 billion of exports, as well as providing $5 billion as additional development funding for Africa till 2030. The kingdom will also increase the number of its embassies to more than 40. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was one of the first countries to provide its support for the African Union to have a permanent membership in the G20 out of its belief in the role of the African countries. The kingdom was keen on supporting innovative solutions to treat the debts of the African countries through its G20 presidency in 2020. The kingdom worked on launching the debt service suspension initiative for the low-income countries during the pandemic and the common framework for the debt treatment and its restructuring in a number of African countries. The kingdom supports sustainable development, and it always emphasizes the rights of countries to develop their resources and capabilities. We renew our commitment to the security of energy supplies and sustainability while benefiting from all energy sources and developing clean fuels, technology solutions, and systems, as well as providing food to more than 750 million in Africa. We aim to host Expo 2030 in Riyadh, to present an extraordinary and unprecedented edition in the history of this exhibition to contribute to a foresighted future for humanity. We look forward to your participation with the kingdom to highlight the important role of Africa and showcase its human and natural resources, growth opportunities, and future potentials. We are confident that this summit will achieve, God willing, all of our aspirations for quality transformation in the fields of cooperation and partnership between the kingdom and the African countries. Peace be with you.
Well, that's all I had for you in this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. My name is Ondiro Oganga. Connect with me on social media at Ondiro Oganga. Give this video a thumbs up, comment down below what you think, and share it with a friend. I'll see you again next time.